Maybe this is you. You constantly chase being busy. Wait, what does that even mean? You're not being productive. You just like to feel productive. You're always just chasing as many things as you can. You're just doing a billion tasks, doing everything you can in your power to do something, but you're chasing the wrong thing. You're chasing to be busy, which is not the same thing as chasing to be productive. However, future you, after applying these tips in my video, you're going to learn to be productive, getting the most out of your effort, and that's it. You're not going to waste any time doing some extra garbage that doesn't really help you. One of the biggest pitfalls for me when I was in school was spending too much time checking my emails. If I was emailing a teacher or something, I would constantly just check for more emails. I would respond to a bunch of emails, and it's like, those things can wait, right? You need to just really start on the important things, being studying or assignments or preparing for a big test, whatever, right? But the worst part about it, I didn't acknowledge that the things I spent my time doing, such as sitting there and responding to emails or doing whatever, I thought I was being productive. I thought I was using my time as best I could. What I can say though is that that's obviously not true. Achieving your goal isn't being busy. It's about achieving your goal, which, okay, obviously that sounds like I just said the same thing twice. It's not. All I am saying is that if you have a goal and you have all the tasks that you need to achieve that goal, do those tasks, right? If one of those tasks does not align with it, then don't bother. When I was in school, the goal is to get a high average this year, right? So to get a high average, I need to study a lot, I need to work very hard in my projects and all this other stuff, right? So if I only had a limited amount of time, that's what I would do. I would just work on my projects, do the homework, do the tests, and that's call it a day, right? I wouldn't spend any time on emails because they don't really get me anything. There's no point. And this idea of doing essential tasks, the first time I heard it was from this book that I read called The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. But the whole point of it is you just save a bunch of time. Don't spend a million hours per day doing some random garbage task. You want to be focusing mostly on the essential tasks, like a prompt that he gives. If in some arbitrary situation I only had a certain amount of time per day to do the tasks to achieve my goal, right, what would I do? So for me, if it was to get a good grade on a test, I would say, hey, well, I have to study, right? That's obviously the most important thing. And then do the homework, and then maybe talk to my teachers. Those three things would be a recipe for success. What would not be a recipe for success is responding to emails, wasting time. And if you only had as the book says, 4 hours per week to do work, what would you do? And that sounds kind of like insane, right? And that might be insane for you if you have a full-time job or something. Like if you were mandatorily forced to do 4 hours of work, what would you do? And I think it's pretty obvious. You would do the most important things. You do the biggest tasks that maybe they took a lot of effort, but they also gave you the most results, right? They directly achieve your goal. The main focus of your day should be doing the hard tasks, doing the big tasks, doing the ones that give you the most results. So now I'm going to give you a bit of an actionable step, something that you can do right now. I'm going to ask you, how do you waste your time? And I strongly suggest writing it down, right? Not on a sticky note. Maybe you've seen how professional athletes record the whole game and they'll analyze each individual particular detail. And they'll say, okay, this player, he didn't do this play right, he didn't catch the ball, he didn't do this, right? And so we're going to say, we're going to work on that. Similarly, what you're going to do is you're going to write down all these tasks that you failed to do. Write down all the reasons why you failed to do them, being, you wasted time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make connections between what you should have done and what you did. And then you're going to put this sticky note on your forehead. No, I'm kidding. But what you want to do is maybe to put this sticky note on the wall or right next to you or on your computer, just to say, hey, these are the things I messed up yesterday. These are the things that I could have done better. And today, I'm not going to let those things happen, right? I'm going to not waste my time scrolling on TikTok. I'm going to not waste my time on emails because I have the sticky note right here. It's just absolutely glaring at me, telling me not to waste my time. So I'm not going to waste my time. It was my reminder. Younger me put that up so that I wouldn't falter. And then the last thing I have to say is to work hard. Well, obviously. Now that's how you optimize your time. Thanks for watching.